Hi everyone, Alchemist here. Today is another episode about numerology, and today I'm going to talk about number two in numerology and what it really means in the occult world. So if you see number 222 or 2222, if you see a repetition of number 2 everywhere you go, what does that mean from your spirit guides or from your guardian demons? What is the message here? What is spirit wants to say? Well, before we can decipher what the message is, we have to first of all explain what number 2 means in numerology, and I'm going to explain it to you. Number 2 is the number that comes directly after number 1. And number 1, as I said in my other episode about number 1, you can go see it or listen to it. I explain what's the meaning of number 1 in numerology. The number that comes after number 1 is number 2. 1 represents alignment, it represents unity, it represents the beginning. It means it's like number 1 is just one entity. So what comes after number 1, number 2, I see it as creation, birth, beginning. Here 1 and 2 can be a little bit interchangeable. When I see 1, I usually think of alignment. When I see 2, I think of beginning. But 1 can represent beginning as well. Because in tarot, when you have, for example, the Ace of Wands or the Ace of Swords, that represents new beginnings. It represents something new that's going to happen in your life. But for me, number 2 is more of the accurate representation of a new beginning, because number 2 is related to creation. In order to create something, you need 2 parties. You need a male and a female. You need 2 different entities that will complement each other for creation. And this can be represented biologically speaking and physically speaking by the birth of a human or an animal or an insect or anything physical basically on Earth, on planet Earth. You require 2 entities to come together in peace, harmony, and balance to create something new. A baby is created by the father and the mother, or by basically the male and the female. Whatever labels you want to put on them, that's not necessary. The labels are not necessary. What's important to understand is that there is 2 entities that create. So for me, and those 2 entities, when they create, they give birth, and birth is the beginning of something new. That's why for me, number 2 is the representation of beginning, is the representation of 2 entities uniting, coming together. They could be male and female. It could be even 2 opposite things. And this could be, for example, when you mix, even like in alchemy, in a metallurgical alchemy, when you mix different metals together, or when you mix 2 metals, they give birth to something else. So they give the beginning of a third metal, of something different, of something new, So number 2 is highly tied to creation. In the Hermetic principles, Hermeticism, the second Hermetic principle is correspondence, which states as above, so below. In the Emerald Tablet of Hermes Trismegistus, also known as Thoth, the ancient Egyptian god of wisdom, the tablet states as above, so below, as below, so above. That's also number 2. That means that the above is similar to the below, and the below is similar to the above. We have here 2 different sides, or 2 different polarities, because the spirit realm and the physical realm, as above, so below, are the same thing. The physical realm is the manifestation of the spirit realm. They're 2 They seem like they're two different things, but they're actually the same thing. We also have, in the Hermetic principle of polarity, we have two different sensations or two different feelings or two different aspects that seem like they're opposites of each other, but they're actually the same, but with different degrees. They're on the same spectrum, but with different degrees, like hot and cold, love and hate, high and low. They are the same thing. But then when you have them in different degrees, they seem very different. Same as above and below. They are the same thing. That's actually the core foundation of alchemy, is that we should embody. Alchemy says that we should embody the spirit within the physical, because we are the representation of spirit. And here, many people also label this as duality. In the physical reality, there is duality, but this number 2 is important for creation. When two entities come together to create something, this duality or polarity that exists is necessary for the physical reality to be manifested. Physical reality has to be manifested through separation. That's why we have male and female. They come together and create a baby. That's just how it works in the physical reality. Otherwise, we go back to number 1, which is oneness. Oneness, where everything is a whole, everything is one. Once you move to number 2, then you start having creation, or at least physical manifestation. This can be even noticed in the mitosis stages, when the baby is created. First, it was just one cell, and then it splits into 2 cells, and it becomes the Vesica Pisces. Because number 2 in sacred geometry is represented by the Vesica Pisces. So Vesica Pisces represent creation. And maybe that's why in the Vesica Pisces, when 2 circles come together, you can see the shape of the fish. That's basically represents in Christianity, Jesus Christ have that symbol. That symbol basically exists within the Vesica Pisces. That could mean that Jesus came to earth to create something new, to begin something new, to lead humanity to something new, right? So number 2, again, can be noticed in the mitosis stages. So the cell from oneness from 1 becomes 2 cells, and then it becomes 4, and then it becomes 8, and then it becomes many cells, and then the limbs starts forming, and then the head and the heart, and that's how the physical baby, physical human being is manifested. So this manifestation, this creation, happens with the splitting from 1 to 2. From 1 to 2, then creation happens. Although it sounds counterintuitive, because I know that most of everyone wants to go back to oneness, but I'm here to tell you that if we came back from oneness, why do we want to go back? That seems counterintuitive. If we were there for I'm not sure how long, for millions of years or for eternity, and all of a sudden we manifested physically here, then why do we want to go back? It seems counterintuitive. Even in numerology, 2 comes after 1 and not vice versa. First it's 1 and then number 2. Number 2 allows creation, it allows manifestation, it allows new beginnings. So that's the meaning of number 2. It can be everything is in front of our eyes, as above, so below. Like, just witness how humans are created, or even other animals, any beings on earth, how they are created in the womb. And you will see that the cell has to split in order for creation to manifest. And what's even more interesting is that for that cell to manifest in the female's womb, First of all, the male and the female have to come together to create. So again, here we have number 2 again. So number 2 represents, it's the ultimate representation of creation. Ultimate representation. Without 2, you can't create. You can't start something new. You can't begin something new. So if you see number 2 or 222 or 2222, if you see this numerology number, it means that your spirit or guardian demons or ancestors or whoever you work with, the deities you work with, it means that they're trying to tell you that something new is about to be created in your life. Something new is about to happen in your life. And that you should go for it, that you should do it, that you should pay attention to it. For example, if you're thinking about a project, some new project that you want to start, and you're not sure if you should do it or not, you're uncertain about it, and then you see somewhere 2222 or 222, and it comes with a nudge of intuition. It comes with some sort of, with a feeling, and you feel that it's the answer from your guardians. You feel like it's the answer for what you were thinking about, and it happens that the number is actually 222, it will mean that what that project you were thinking about, you should do it because it's the right thing. So this number 2 in numerology means that the creation, the start, the beginning, something is about to emerge. Something brand new is about to emerge in your life, and it's about to come to fruition, come to creation. But remember that it's not something negative. Duality, polarity, splitting, separation gives birth to creation. That's just how it works. That's just how things are. Because people say sometimes, oh, well, we're not oneness or this or oneness, or we have... No, but you are here. And you were created here because 2 entities, male and female, came together to create you. And then your cells had to be split together for you to become a human being. And so on and so forth. And then the weather sometimes have to feel hot and sometimes have to feel cold for you to feel what weather is. Everything that concerns the physical reality and everything that's connected or related to creation has to be dual, always number 2. Otherwise, it's not manifested physically. Maybe the spirit realm or the spiritual plane, maybe things are not dual over there, but even there, based on my experience and my research, number 2 exists over there too. Duality exists over there too. In the spirit realm, there is duality as well, not just here. Because, as Hermes Trismegistus mentioned in the Emerald Tablet, as above, so below. So what we have here is what's over there. It's the same thing. It just manifested differently in different manners, in different ways. In tarot, the major arcana that represents number 2 is the High Priestess. I have another full episode that explains the meaning of the High Priestess in tarot. So number 2 here, the High Priestess represents wisdom, knowledge, the spirit realm, the wisdom of the spirit realm. Again, 2 pillars, the pillars of wisdom. They can also represent the pillars of the Temple of Solomon, Jachin and Boaz. Beautiful card. And again, it's the female, because here it's priestess, not high priest. There is no high priest, it's the high priestess, because it's the divine feminine that gives that gives birth, that breeds creation. It is the female energy, it's the divine feminine that gives creation. And number 2 is all about creation. And although 2 entities have to come together, and usually they're opposites, not male and female, they have to come together to create, but the one who actually gives creation is the female. And that's why the High Priestess has a female figure there and not a male figure. So it's very philosophical, but number 2 is very important. And if you see it, it means that something amazing, new, that is about to be created in your life. So remember that, and I hope this helps, and I will see you in the next video.